Gene Stone, and this is our first show on San Clemente Connected. This is Gary Headrick of San Clemente Green, and our guest today is Kathy Ward. And can you tell us about yourself, your job, your present job, and what's your anticipation of running for City Council?
My name is Kathy Ward. I am currently a planning commissioner with the City of San Clemente, and I'm presently running for City Council of San Clemente.
Okay. My first question would be, why do you want to run for City Council here in our beautiful city of San Clemente?
I'm running for City Council because I think San Clemente is a gem on the coast of Southern California. We have a unique quality of life in our town, and I think that is deserving of all the protection that we can provide. And I want to preserve the quality of life for residents and keep our town what it is. And the quality of life is mainly my main platform.
Okay. What do you hope to accomplish for the people of San Clemente?
I hope to control growth, manage it in a way to make sure that anything that comes to our town that, in addition to what is already planned, does not overwhelm our town and diminishes our quality of life or hurts businesses that we already have in our town. We have a general plan in place right now that sets out how development should come in, what it should look like, that it should blend, be part of the neighborhood, and we have to adhere to those restrictions and guidelines. And there are times where other city councils or other staff have made amendments to the general plan in order to let a project come in that now is not in line with the rest of the plan for the town. I won't do that. I won't change what we have set in place. It was done by Citizens Group. Our GPAC group met for, I think, 2 years. Gary was part of that.
Yeah.
And really worked out a plan. And our city council went page by page and looked at the general plan and made sure that it fit with what the residents wanted. So I want to continue that. I want to get on the city council and continue that we follow the general plan, and we have a vision for the future that our town stays unique, our small town, quality beach town remains.
Okay. Thank you very much. Gary, do you have any questions?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for running. We really need someone like you in office and making decisions that are best for the people who live here already. And I know your environmental track record is something we want to support and help. There's been so many projects at San Clemente Green where we got our sustainability action plan in place, and then we got distracted by a much bigger issue with the San Onofre problems, and all of those really important projects we started with the sustainability action plan sort of got put on hold. And thank goodness people have stepped up to create a tree ordinance, and there's a good movement in that direction. But so many of those things need to come back, and we need to pick them up and get people so they're not wasting single-use bags when they could just bring reusable bags. It's embarrassing that we were this close at one point years ago to getting that approved, and for political reasons, now the 17 ordinances are close by where they've done it ahead of us, and we could have taken the pride in being one of the first, but now it's questionable if it will even follow what other people are doing. So I'm looking forward to hearing ideas you have about how we can start bringing these matters to the public's attention and show them how we all win by doing the right thing. And really, my biggest question for you is, how do we help most to get you elected? Because San Clemente Green wants you in there. How can we? You have a big speaking engagement. You have lots of activities planned. What is the best forum where we can get a bunch of people that share our concern for the environment out to hear your thoughts? I mean, this kind of radio program is good too, presentation. But I guess as far as I'm concerned, I'm convinced that we need you in there, and I'm more concerned about what's the next steps we can do politically in this town to help
Well, I
you
think
get there.
what you're doing here, if it's sent out to the people that care, that share your concerns, I think that will help get the word out. Yes, things have kind of taken over. San Onofre obviously was a big issue, and you had to switch gears on that. I was not aware that you started the tree ordinance until you came to a planning commission meeting, I believe, and said that. I didn't know that that's how San Clemente Green first started. So on the plastic bag issue, I know all the other cities have done that. I don't know which city closest to us has not. Do you know that if one has not?
Um, I think Dana Point was the most recent one that did pass one. So
I think
there's San
when
Juan,
you
I
see that
believe.
other cities pass things like that, and there is an actual reason for doing so, I think we should look at it closer and probably go along with what they're doing. Otherwise, what are we saying? And I don't see the harm in doing it. I know they worry about big business and things like that, but when we talk about the environment, sometimes we all just have to take a stand on that. So if it came up before us, I would ask for all the facts on it, but I'd like to see plastic bottles gone.
Right,
Myself.
that's a big one too.
I think those are actually bigger than bags. I'd like to see the bottles gone. They're not healthy or safe for people to ingest, use. But maybe even a bigger, I don't know if that is something that anyone's even looking at. With the industry, there's so much money in water bottles.
Right.
I doubt anyone's even approached it.
It's a tough one to, compete with convenience, when you're asking people to inconvenience themselves when they've gotten used to something that they never had before. Somehow we always managed before without the single-use bags or the little convenient plastic water bottles. We need to question, does it really benefit us in the long run, or is there a better way to
Well, I think what might
happen
with that is get the word out on how unhealthy they are. I have, and a lot of my friends are not drinking out of them anymore. We stopped a long time ago because we learned of the effects of them, and a lot of us were not feeling well, so we stopped drinking out of those. So if that got out more and hurt the business a little more, maybe that would help get that going. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as
alternative,
there you go. That's
I have those,
Yes.
and then the hard plastic that is not single use, that I hang on to forever and ever. But I bought those at a surfing event down at San O. Somebody was selling them, and it was the first one that I opened that did not smell horrible like metal.
Yeah.
So I knew that was the one to get.
And you got to support your favorite charity as well. So, I have a question pertaining to kind of politics and how people view the role of being on the city council. And so I'm a lot older than you. So I kind of have this old school thing about public servants, which I don't see a lot of anymore. I think a lot of people come in with agendas instead of trying to represent the public. So I'm very interested in knowing how you approach that. What's your answer to that question?
I have no agenda. I have none. I own a home in San Clemente. I have no business. I'm not looking to get into any business. So I'm not getting in, I'm not serving San Clemente in order to promote anything else. My goal is simply to support the residents with the residents' vision of what they want their town to be, and not succumb to outside interests that might come in and change San Clemente for for gain. Because a developer, that's what they do. That's their job. They'll come in and develop something and then leave our town, and they're not they're not there to see what the traffic effects are or what it did to anyone else. They just did with their project, and they made their money and they moved on.
They're not dealt with have to be here to deal with the after effects.
No, and the residents are.
Right.
And we all know why we live in San Clemente. we know that our quality of life is really important, and that's why we live there.
So I hear what I think I'm hearing you say is that you it might be easier to approach you as a resident to the city and to address concerns that people are having in their community, in their neighborhoods.
Absolutely. I've already had that happen just even as a planning commissioner.
Okay.
I've had people knock on my door or email me and ask me to look into something, and I'll spend like 2 days on totally researching the issue, and I will give all the information to staff, say, what are we doing about this?
Okay.
So absolutely.
So somebody can actually approach you, give you the information, and you'll actually share that out. It won't be just trash canned.
No.
Great.
I don't assume that I know everything. I certainly don't. But if other people spend much more time on issues and they have the research, I will look at it. That's
Good.
just how I operate.
That's very encouraging.
Yeah.
Gary, do you have one more question?
Well, I was wondering about your website, if there's places we can sign up to volunteer or do campaign, walking.
Oh, I would love that. I need all the help
more about
I can get. I'm the new person. I don't have name recognition except for being on the planning commission, and some people might know me on any other issues I stood up for. So I don't have the website yet. When it is up, it's going to be electkathyward.com.
Okay.
And we should add something that for volunteering, or just the email, for that.
Yeah.
But I do need as much help as I can get. I've heard that we need to walk as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've already had some people email me. I was in the Leadership San Clemente class. Did you take that?
Yeah.
I've had people from that class say, hey, we want to help. We'll hand out flyers and all that. So this month is just the month to pretty much organize kind of what you're doing.
Right.
And I think after Labor Day, the campaign is on.
Okay.
So we start. So I appreciate any help and all help. I really do.
Good. Well, we're behind you.
So, Kathy, my last question is, of course, I'm a longtime resident here of San Clemente myself, and along with Gary, worked on the shutdown issue of California Edison. So one of the biggest issues that faces San Clemente is the fact that San Clemente is about to become a nuclear waste dump for 300 years. So how do you feel about that, and are you willing to help to move this along to get the waste out as soon as possible?
First of all, I don't think we signed up to be a nuclear waste dump. When we moved here, of course we were all aware that San Onofre was there, but we were assured that it was safe and they had all the backup systems, and that public safety was number one for Southern California Edison. That proved to not always be the case. And you and all of your group did discover that things that they were doing were not quite right and not up to specifications, and ultimately Edison had to shut down. I do not believe the waste should stay there. I'd like to see it moved as soon as possible, and actual steps to be moving the waste, and not just leaving it there for 300 years. When we allowed Edison to operate a nuclear power plant, it was with the requirement of that use that they had a place to take the waste. So the NRC has dropped the ball on that and allowed these to still continue operating even though they have no depository for the waste. So I would be for continually trying to get that moved. But in the meantime, while it's here and in the decommissioning process, I think Edison has to do absolutely the best quality, whatever is available, top state of the art. That's the type of storage we should have. There's nothing that should be said that, oh, this is good enough. It can't just be good enough. It has to be the best for public safety, for Southern California, but especially for our residents of San Clemente.
Perfect.
That's the best answer to that really serious situation. And I'm glad you recognize that we're not fear mongers. We do our research and we look into these things to look deeper into problems we hear about. And as you point out, we're pretty right on the mark about the steam generators and things like that.
You are correct.
And now there's this issue about the casks that we're trying to get resolved, but it looks like they may just move forward quickly without answering some really important questions. So I'm glad you're looking at that, and not just assuming the experts or the authorities have all the right answers. I think there's enough evidence there that we just have to make sure we ask all the right questions as we all move towards trying to remove this waste as soon as possible. I think that's a unanimous vote there. It was the waste must go.
Okay. So, hey, I'd like to, first of all, thank Kathy and Gary for joining us, Darren McClure, our tech guy, but also would like to extend invitation to all the other candidates running for City Council for this election to come and join us here on San Clemente Network. Is that correct? San Clemente Connected. So to join us here, and we'll do a little talk, and our goal here is to just interview the candidates and get the information out for everybody. And of course, we encourage, as I'm sure both of you do as well, everyone to get out and vote. Because if you don't vote, you really just lost your vote.
You might as well be quiet then, because
Yeah.
you have your
Be quiet,
chance.
yeah.
You know, don't complain later.
Okay. So thank you very much, and that's a wrap.
And we'll see you real soon.